Hello and welcome everybody to Moonlighting Montana, where we get an in-depth look at Montana high school sports. And it was a big, humongous, gigantic weekend in high school football for Montana. Everyone's eyes were fixated on the Brawl of the Wild. We wasted a little bit of time because that turned out to be a butt kicking. But if you missed those high school games, which many of you might have, we're here to take care of you. We're just here, okay? And we're going to go over a few of these games this weekend that were obviously really big for these teams, for these communities. A couple of teams taking home some hardware, getting to take the pride back with them to their communities, and I can't wait to share it with you. Guys, what an amazing weekend we had. We got to see Pat McAfee come to Montana, talk about how beautiful it was. Hopefully not so beautiful that people start moving here. But beyond that, we had some towns that get to live with the pride of taking home a state championship. And we had some awesome games. Just here to cover it all and talk about the basics so that everyone's caught up in case, like I said before, your eyes were fixated maybe on the college football this weekend because we had an awesome time watching. We don't miss a beat over here. So getting into it right off the stinking bat. You see the Mohawks, you see the hair dye, look good, feel good, play good. And that's what Capital did, and everybody kind of expected it. I think Bozeman had a wonderful season. Casa Grande, the quarterback at Bozeman, had an awesome season too. But the Capital Bruins were just too much to handle. Like we all have seen throughout the season, too big, too strong, weight room team. And I'm so proud of those guys. I heard a stat when I was listening to the game that every coach that has coached at Helena Capital has won a state championship. So it's not about the coaches. It's not about the specific players. All those things help. Those are intangibles. But the community that is built around this football team, the culture that has been built is just amazing. And living in Helena, I know there's a lot of pride that goes out for both the Bruins and the Bengals. And Helena is a really proud city. Bozeman pretty much were playing catch up for the whole game. They were they scored right before the half to make it really close. And then after that, Capital kind of ran away with it and got some big scores at the end. Tom Carter, wonderful career here in Helena, and wish nothing but the best for him going forward. Clearly going to do some things also in track this spring, keeping an eye out for him. But the Mohawks prevail, and now they can wear them with pride as they walk through the halls of that school as state champions. Go Capital Brew Crew. Very good job. In Class A, we had the Billings Central Catholic Rams taking on the Fergus Golden Eagles. All these games were really cold. I think both Fergus and Billings Central have that hard-nosed, like to run it down your throat style of football, but the guy on the screen that you see right here, his name is, I hope I get this right, Gage Norsling is a baller, right? He is a baller in Montana. He had 5 touchdowns today. 3 were on the ground, I believe, 2 in the air. MVP-like performance. But beyond that, Fergus does some things defensively. They just get stuff done. They get stuff done. They're well coached, awesome group of kids. And I saw a quote from, I believe it was their running back, Jet Boyce, and he said it so perfectly. And it's why we take so much care talking about these high school football teams. He said, I just hope that we get to enjoy this and that the kids below us, the underclassmen, the middle schoolers, elementary kids, get to look up to us and start a great thing here at Fergus. And it gave me chills. I don't like to get all mushy-gushy, but that's what it's all about. These are the leaders of the school. These are the leaders of the community. And today they get to put on a crown and be an example for those people looking up to them, looking forward at them. So congratulations, Coach Lear and Coach Johnson. You guys have done something so remarkable. I believe this is your second year in Lewistown, and you've made these athletes so prepared and so just ready to take on all comers. And you did such a good job. And I feel like there's a small part of me that's a part of the Fergus community because my dad was living there for a while. And so I can say this, I just feel proud of the Fergus Golden Eagles. They've come so far, and I'm really proud. They absolutely take over and beat the Rams 34-14. So congratulations, Fergus Golden Eagles. Where's the ring? Moving on. Loyola Sacred Heart Rams snuck into the state championship against the Florence Carlton Falcons. No surprise here. Like I said, they sort of meandered their way, and all of a sudden they're looking around like, where the heck are we? State championship field, state championship time. But for whatever reason, didn't really show up to this one. I think 14-7 in the first half for a while, and then Florence Carlton absolutely poured it on these boys. They ended up beating them 48-7, and Duchesne, the quarterback at Florence, is a baller. He's going to go on and do great things. He's been a baller for 2 years, and he's been taking care of business in Class B. And congratulations to the Florence Carlton Falcons. Can't wait to see what you guys got coming up because they're well-coached, great community. Obviously, when you get to back-to-back, baby, you know you have a good community. You know you have a good program. I also heard through the rumblings there was a little bit of a rivalry brewing. And not only that, but Loyola decided to take to ESPN radio and talk a little bit of smack. And so they got smacked. That's what happens, right? Talk a little bit of smack. Sometimes you get smacked. They're going to have to deal with it, lick their wounds. Kind of excited to watch them come basketball season, though. So congratulations to Florence. Congratulations to Quinn. We had him on earlier. Super pumped for him. He's an awesome guy, and there's awesome people over there in Florence. So the Bitterroot Valley represent. Moving on to 8-man Class C football. Mission has not been into a state championship in, I believe, since the 1940s. 42 or 48, one of those two. And they were great all year. No more West is best, I guess, though. Because a 30-point rout comes by the Belt Huskies just handling business in Belt. Actually in Mission. This game was in Mission, just happened to be with the seedings. But seriously, really good season by St. Ignatius and the Mission Bulldogs. They should really keep their heads up. Belt was kind of the grandiose scheme. You had to run through them to get anywhere. Kind of the juggernaut that was coming out through the playoffs. And I want to say that they didn't have a game within 30. I will say that the score doesn't say everything on this because the game was way closer for a long time, and then Belt kind of opened it up on them, as good teams do. Just that consistency. But awesome for the Belt Huskies. Another one that I'm super excited to watch come basketball season with a couple of these teams. When you have good athletes, when you have good kids, it translates everywhere. So the Belt Huskies were good last year for basketball and the year before, I believe, too. And I'm excited to watch them come basketball season. Also, the Mission Bulldogs really good at basketball. They have a really good scorer down there named Zoran. You guys have to watch him. But Belt handles business, and they go out to beat the St. Ignatius Bulldogs 52-24. As we move down, even more down, to Class C 6-man football, Big Sandy Pioneers taking on Broadview Lavina Pirates. And I actually tuned into this game because the NFHS stream wasn't really working. I kind of tuned into this game. I think it was the third quarter, and they already had 61 points. And I was like, wow, the running clock is about to go. And yeah, Big Sandy, undefeated season. The Pioneers greased up the wagon wheels, and they ran over the Pirates of Broadview Lavina. Good for them. I'm super happy for Big Sandy. It's a long time coming. It is their first ever state championship. That's a round of applause right there. I cannot believe it. They get their first ever, and congratulations, Tucker Taylor, coaching member of that staff over there. I texted him congrats, and I'm just super proud of him going on in Big Sandy and doing great things. And they deserved it, obviously. They were the team to beat, never did get beat, never got chased down. But I don't know. They get to take home a ring, and you see this, they get to show it off a little bit. Those were the only 5 games, clearly. So now you might be wondering to yourself, what's the plan for Moonlighting Montana? What's going to happen next? You follow this football, you kind of started up from scratch. Obviously got the stream doing some different things and trying to up the quality for everyone watching. But the plan from this point on, we take a little bit of a hiatus as Montana sports comes to a close. And shortly, soon, we will get on with a full in-depth look at our basketball season. To get into that just a little bit before we even get there, I think that basketball season will be an interesting one this year. I was coaching in Class C basketball for a while before I started this, so I've always kind of been in tune with Class C basketball, and actually basketball kind of all over the state. It's what I follow probably more than anything. And we'll get an in-depth look at what we got going on for this next season of basketball. And after that, that's what we're going to be covering. We're going to try our best. There's a lot of games that go on, but we're going to try our best. Just a very non-formal look. Obviously, Fergus has a chance to be double state champs. With a guy who actually played football on the team. You didn't hear his name as much in football because they had those 2 studs running the ball kind of behind him. But Royce Robinson, basketball player from Fergus, amazing player to watch, super athletic. Obviously, you got to keep your eye out for Capital. I don't know how good they'll be this year, but they just seem to get things done. And so we'll keep our eye out for them and Bozeman in AA. Very general picks here. Let's just kind of I don't even know. I haven't looked too much into it to make a conscious decision on it. But for Class AA, I think I'm going to go with Bozeman in this video. It might change next video, so don't hold me to it. Okay, I got to see how many returners they have. But I think Capital loses a lot. They lose the Gatorade Player of the Year, which is obviously painful on any stage. But I'll say Bozeman for now. In Class A, I love the Golden Eagles, and I'm a ride or die. But there is a man in the historic town of Butte that is good with the rock. And his name is Dougie Peoples. And I can't wait to watch him play. We had this saying when we were in college and my dad kind of taught me as well, that players who are all airport, okay? A player that's all airport is a player that gets off of the plane or gets off of the bus, and the way they're walking and the way they're strutting, they're trying to look cool, and you just know, even when they go through warm-up lines, you know that they're just trying to look cool. They're trying to look like they're a good basketball player. Now, whatever the opposite term for that is, that's what Dougie Peoples is. He walks off the bus, he comes into your gym, and you probably couldn't pick him out of a crowd other than the fact that he's 6'4", which makes him pretty tall, and you're obviously on the lookout for Dougie Peoples, because if you're not, he's going to put a three-pointer from about 38 feet in your eye. But you probably won't even suspect anything of it. If you're just the general casual fan, you don't know him, you're not going to suspect him. And he's going to come out, and he's going to be an assassin. He's going to take you left, and if you try to double team him, he's going to go left again. He's going to run out of double teams. He's going to hit jump shots. He's going to make layups. He's going to make three-pointers. He's going to kind of do it all. And so I think that Brody Kelly, amazing coach at Butte Central, is going to have them ready, and the culture there is amazing. And with that guy, Dougie Peoples, handling the rock, there's just, I don't think anyone can beat him. Now, again, my opinion may change, and things may get turned around a little bit, but yeah, I just think they're really strong. These next classes are going to be a little bit interesting because when you go to Class C schools, you don't have as much pull with the general population. First of all, there's not as much AAU going on. There's not as much off-season stuff going on as in the bigger towns. And obviously, they don't see the same competition unless they really take themselves to camp. So for Class B, Three Forks won it last year. I think that Three Forks won't even, I don't think I need to even have them on my radar at this point. But that being said, there's some really good coaches in Three Forks. And I think that when you win a state championship, that there is a trickle-down effect. I think they lost a lot. It depends on seeing who kind of transfers in. That helped them a lot last year. But Harlem is the team to watch. They were the runners-up last year. Lame Deer and Lodge Grass are really good Class B basketball teams. Loyola is another one to watch. I got to watch them against Florence last year when Florence had about 9 seniors. And Loyola, I think, started senior, 2 sophomores, 2 or 3 sophomores, a freshman. So the only thing I'm mixing, it might be a senior, junior, 2 sophomores, and a freshman. And they were good. Okay, so keep your eye out on Loyola. If those kids stick around and keep playing, they're going to be tough. They're going to be good. And I think Big Fork is another one to watch out for. They're going to be left empty-bellied and hungry going into basketball season this year. And so they're another one to watch. But if I had to just pick out of nowhere, I would say Lodge Grass for now. Okay? I don't know who they have, but I'm going to say Lodge Grass for now. Okay? So now we move on to Class C. And this one is another sort of tough one. At the same time, it would be easy. It's just, I never know. And because I coached in Class C, I know that sometimes teams just emerge and you're like, oh my gosh, these guys were hidden away the entire time and I never knew they were this good. They get an 8th grader that finally matures and he's a great basketball player, and all you got to do in your little podunk town is play basketball. And that's what's so amazing about Montana Class C basketball. But if you were to pick against Manhattan Christian, I think that you'd be a silly goose, because Manhattan Christian gets the job done. They absolutely walked their way into a state championship last year. And I think it even could have ripple effects going into Class B when you have the Manhattan team sitting in Class B with some of those kids around that area, Churchill area. I think that both teams could be really good, so Manhattan Tigers, keep your eye out for them as well. But I think I have to go with Manhattan Christian in Class C with my good friend there, Lane Glaus, hoping to get him on at some point. He actually coached me at one point in my career when I was at Western. And not only is Lane proven himself on the basketball court as a player, Coach Glaus could absolutely score the rock. He was a scoring machine. It was like people were putting quarters in him, and if he needed to get 50, he was going to get 50. And he's taken those talents off the basketball court and applied it into an already talented basketball program in Manhattan Christian. I believe they have some people coming back. Almond Rouge coming back. They're just athletic, they're talented, and the Dutch get pretty tall. If you didn't know, it's a Dutch community down in Manhattan, and they get a little bit tall, and so you just can't coach height. And so I'll bet anything, at the very least, Manhattan Christian's very tall, and that goes a long way in Class C when you have a team that might have 19 players at the very most. That's what we had at Victor, and that seemed like a lot. I'm not gonna count Coach Warren out. Coach Warren, I shout you out right now in the Victor Pirates because I know the amount of work you put in, brother. And so I know that they're at least going to be as prepared as they can be. Okay, they're going to have the right schemes and the know-how to defensively handle just about any team. So that's my quick shout out to the Victor Pirates, close to my heart, and Matt Warren there. But that's about it. Those are my quick picks. I'll go into more depth on the next episode of this. Again, appreciate you guys kind of carrying on with the ride. I started off hobbled with how the videos went, not really knowing what I was going to do, got really into it, and I think that I'm kind of in a place where I like how this is going. Definitely troublesome to always get the interview scheduled on time, especially close to playoff time at the end of the season. But that is still going to happen. That is still a thing we're going to pride ourselves here on Moonlighting Montana, best of what we can. But even if that doesn't happen, my promise to you is that we are always going to be the place that you can hear about all the sports scores. You don't need to scroll through Twitter, figure out on ScoreStream what team's in what division, or find the team that you're looking for. We're going to go through them all in a compact area. So please, if you haven't, follow us on Instagram where we do reels of teams that we have to watch out for that week. Follow us on, or subscribe to us on YouTube so you can get an in-depth, compacted view or listening of what scores have happened. You could just tune in, ride in your car, and get all the scores that you need to know. And some of you people that are supporting me from the community, I love you guys. You guys are the best, and we're going to continue to talk about your players and your kids and your students and highlight them because that's what they deserve, and you guys deserve to be on a pedestal as well. Thank you, Montana community. Thank you, Montana, for being who you are, and I just appreciate everything you've done for me and we've accomplished this year so far, and it's only going to go up from here, and I can't wait. But that being said, I'm going to let you guys ride. So long, wonderful night, a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I can't wait to see you back on Moonlighting Montana.